The 1943 steel wheat penny is one of the most fascinating and iconic coins in American numismatic history. It stands out not just for its unique appearance, but for the historical context that led to its creation, the controversies it sparked, and the values it holds today among collectors and investors. This coin tells a story not just of metal and minting, but of war, economy, and American resilience during one of the most challenging periods in world history. To understand the significance of the 1943 steel penny, we must go back to the early 1940s. The world was engulfed in the chaos of World War II. The United States had entered the war in December of 1941, following the attack on Pearl Harbor. Almost overnight, the entire American economy shifted to support the war effort. Resources were redirected, industries retooled for military production, and citizens were called upon to make sacrifices in their daily lives to support the troops abroad. Copper was one of the essential materials required for the war. It was needed in large quantities for manufacturing ammunition, shell casings, wiring, radios, tanks, and other military equipment. This placed tremendous pressure on the nation's copper supplies. At the time, the U.S. 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln wheat penny, was made primarily of copper. In fact, prior to 1943, these coins were composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. As copper demand surged, the U.S. Mint began exploring alternative materials for coinage to conserve copper for the war. After testing various materials, including glass, plastic, and even rubber, the Mint settled on steel as the temporary replacement. Steel was more abundant and, although harder on minting equipment, it could be plated with a thin layer of zinc to prevent rusting and give it a silver-like appearance. In 1943, the United States Mint officially struck pennies using a zinc-coated steel composition. These coins weighed about 2.7 grams, slightly less than the previous copper cents, and had a distinctive silver-gray color, making them visually different from any other cent in American history. This change was applied at all three operating U.S. Mint facilities at the time: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of the 1943 steel cents, striking over 684 million of them. The Denver Mint produced approximately 217 million, while the San Francisco Mint struck just over 191 million. These numbers make the 1943 steel cent one of the most widely minted coins in U.S. history, yet it remains highly collectible due to its uniqueness and historical significance. Despite the practical reasons behind the steel penny, the public reaction was mixed. Many Americans confused the coin with dimes due to its silvery appearance. It was also prone to rust if the zinc coating was compromised, which could happen through regular handling. Furthermore, these steel cents often caused problems in vending machines and coin-operated devices, which were calibrated for copper cents. Complaints from businesses and consumers poured in, prompting the Mint to consider reverting back to a copper-based alloy. Interestingly, while millions of steel cents were made in 1943, an extremely small number of 1943 pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets left over from the previous year. These copper 1943 cents are considered some of the rarest and most valuable coins in all of American numismatics. Only a handful are known to exist, and when they appear at auction, they fetch astonishing prices, sometimes upwards of $100,000 or more, depending on condition and provenance. Conversely, a few 1944 steel cents were also struck by mistake when steel planchets from 1943 were left in the machines. These 1944 steel pennies are also extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Both the 1943 copper and 1944 steel cents are examples of what numismatists call transitional errors, mistakes made during the transition from one metal composition to another. The standard 1943 steel cent, while not rare in circulated condition, still holds significant appeal. Collectors often seek them out because they are a one-year type coin and represent a unique moment in American history. In average circulated condition, A 1943 steel penny might be worth between 10 cents and $1. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value can rise significantly. A high-grade 1943 steel cent with full original luster can be worth anywhere from $10 to $50. In exceptional grades, particularly those graded Ms. 67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC, values can soar into the hundreds of dollars. Coins with certain desirable characteristics, such as strong strike, full steps on the Lincoln Memorial, or minimal surface marks, tend to command premiums. Additionally, coins with mint errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or improperly plated examples can be worth much more, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. There are also variations among the coins from the three different mints. The 1943D and 1943S steel cents are generally slightly less common in high grades than the Philadelphia issues. This is partly due to the quality of the minting process and the handling of coins at the regional facilities. Collectors often seek to complete a set of 1943 steel cents by acquiring one from each mint. Coins from Denver bear a small D mint mark below the date, while those from San Francisco have an S. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Over the years, many 1943 steel cents have suffered from rust or corrosion, especially if stored in damp environments or handled frequently without protection. As a result, truly pristine examples are scarcer than the mintage numbers might suggest. This is why collectors place a premium on coins that retain their original bright zinc finish and show little to no signs of environmental damage. It's worth noting that because of the coin's unique look and popularity, counterfeiters have also tried to capitalize on its fame. Some have attempted to create fake 1943 copper cents by plating regular steel cents with a thin layer of copper or altering 1948 copper cents to resemble 1943 seconds by modifying the last digit. Therefore, authentication by a professional grading service is critical when dealing with coins that appear to be extremely valuable. The 1943 steel penny also holds an important place in the broader context of American coinage history. It serves as a reminder of how national emergencies can influence even the smallest aspects of daily life, including pocket change. This one-year issue is a tangible link to the sacrifices made on the home front during World War II, and it continues to capture the imagination of both novice and seasoned collectors. Beyond its monetary value, the steel penny is also used in educational settings. Teachers and historians often use the 1943 steel cent to illustrate lessons about wartime America, resource conservation, and the impact of global events on domestic policy. The coin's unusual composition and backstory make it an engaging tool for sparking curiosity and discussion. For those interested in collecting the 1943 steel penny, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, always handle coins carefully. Even though steel is a hard metal, the zinc coating can wear off or become damaged with improper handling. It's best to use cotton gloves and store the coins in acid-free holders or coin flips. Avoid PVC containing plastics, as these can cause chemical reactions that damage the surface of the coin over time. Second, if you're purchasing high-grade or rare error varieties, make sure the coin is authenticated and graded by a reputable service such as the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGs), the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), or NX. This not only ensures the coin is genuine, but also provides an objective assessment of its condition, which greatly affects its market value. Third, when evaluating value, remember that IAPL plays a major role. Two coins with the same technical grade might sell for very different prices depending on how attractive they look to the buyer. Coins with bright, even surfaces and minimal spotting or toning are generally more desirable than those with dark spots, uneven wear, or pitted surfaces. Lastly, consider the historical and emotional value of the 1943 steel penny. It's more than just a piece of metal, it's a piece of history. Holding one in your hand is like stepping back into a time when America was united in a common cause, when every citizen was asked to make sacrifices, and when even the humble penny played a role in the war effort. The 1943 steel wheat penny continues to be a popular and meaningful coin in the world of collecting. Whether you're a beginner just starting your collection, or a seasoned numismatist looking to add an exceptional specimen to your holdings, the steel cent offers both historical intrigue and collectible charm. Its story reflects a time of innovation, adaptation, and patriotic spirit, a time when Americans pulled together and changed even their smallest habits to support a larger mission. The coin reminds us that sometimes, what seems like a small change, a switch from copper to steel, can carry with it a world of meaning. In that sense, the 1943 steel penny is far more than a monetary unit. It is a symbol of American determination, ingenuity, and sacrifice. And as long as collectors continue to cherish these qualities, the 1943 steel cent will remain a treasured part of our shared numismatic legacy.